getting started. It's 6 p.m. November 21st, 2022. It's a regular assembly meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Tom,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Jeff,
Here.
Bob,
Here.
Donna,
Here.
Mark,
Here.
David.
Dave is excused today.
Okay.
Okay, so it's now time for a voluntary pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Republic for which
And
it
to the
stands,
republic for which
one
it stands,
nation,
one
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty
indivisible,
and justice
with
for all.
liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item on the agenda today is approval of minutes from the regular assembly meeting November 7th and the special assembly meeting November 11th. I'd entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So move. Second.
Motion's been made by member Mucci, seconded by member Lynn. All those in favor of approving those minutes as presented, say aye.
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 Opposed? 6 to 0, it passes. Next item, amendment and approval of the meeting agenda for this evening. I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented if there are no amendments.
So move. Second.
Motion been made by member Mucci, seconded by member Lynn to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, we'll move forward with the agenda as presented. Next item on the agenda is public hearings. There are none tonight. There are no bid awards, which is item 6. That brings us to item 7, which is persons to be heard related to items on today's agenda. So if there's anybody that would like to speak on issues related to tonight's agenda in the audience, please step forward, state your name and who you represent. Seeing none, is there anyone zooming in? Clerk?
No.
Okay, so we'll move to persons to be heard on items unrelated to today's agenda. And is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to items unrelated to today's agenda? Okay, seeing none. Boards, commission, and committee reports, there are none this evening, which brings us to item 10. That's the consent agenda. There's one item on tonight's consent agenda. Inga's Galley liquor license renewal. Inga's Galley has applied with the Alaska Alcohol and Marijuana Control Office for a liquor license renewal. The assembly may support or protest the applications. A protest may not be arbitrary, capricious, or unreasonable. I'd entertain a motion to approve the sole item on the consent agenda.
So move. Second.
Motion been made by member Mucci, seconded by member Lynn. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Jeff,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Donna,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Okay, we have approved that application. Next item, Manager Giesbrecht will provide a report regarding large projects that will be upcoming in the next 5 years in the borough. So we talked a little bit before the meeting, and it's a very lengthy list. So anybody that would like to look at the list in its entirety, you could go on to today's agenda and look at them. So is there anything that sticks out in your mind, Steve, you'd like to talk about, or is just?
No, I mean, I think the big things, it's worth looking through to see what's out there from the various department heads. I did put the school roof on there because the borough will likely try to help in some fashion, or at least talk about it. And we have, you know, probably the biggest is the hospital, which is not on this list. And then the blind flu hydro, which is so. But again, lots of projects. If anybody you're looking at has questions, please let me know and I can explain them in more detail.
Any assembly members have any particular questions for the manager on this list? Okay, seeing
This
none.
is Donna. I do.
Okay, go ahead, member Marsh.
Thank you so much. I there's no price tag obviously associated with these, and I'm assuming that each department head will coordinate with the manager on how these projects would be funded. Is that correct?
Through the mayor. Yeah, actually, Assemblymember Lynn asked us to pull this all together. Most of these projects do not have price tags on them as of yet. Before they become active, they go through a process where we start looking at what's the price tag on it, and then it comes back to the assembly to, look at how do we gonna pay for it. So these are, some of them do have price tags on them, but most of them do not.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of the manager on this list? And if you have any questions that come up, I'm sure you could go talk to the manager about it in his office. So that brings us to the mayor's report, fairly short this evening. The borough is seeking letters of interest to serve on the Petersburg Economic Development Council as the Assembly's appointed public member at large. Appointees will serve a 3-year term until December 31st, 2025. Residents who wish to serve the community are encouraged to submit a letter of interest no later than Monday, December 12th, 2022, to Clerk Thompson at the Borough Municipal Building located at 12 South Nordic Drive, or by sending to Box 329, Petersburg, Alaska, 99833, or by emailing to dthompson@petersburgak.gov. And those meetings occur the third Thursday of each month. Second item is December 5th, the assembly meeting. I will not be here. I will be traveling to Anchorage. So Vice Mayor Lynn, if he's in town, will be chairing the meeting. And happy Thanksgiving. The Borough Assembly would like to wish everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving. So, and don't forget the tree lighting, Friday evening. So that brings us to the manager's report.
Thank you, sir. Public Works repaired a leaking water main near the intersections of 7th and Joa a couple weeks ago. Harbor Department's new telehandler arrived and is being readied for service. DNR retracted its draft patent deed for Thomas Bay. They're still working through some of the issues regarding the conveyance. They did not provide a timeline for reissuing the draft patent. Community Development is still attending monthly meetings with building officials around the state to discuss changing to the 2021 building code. And they're having some meetings with DNR as well. Liz and staff are attending webinars regarding understanding the federal programs promoting broadband access and deployment. And we are going through the process of recertifying our ambulance. Paperwork is finished and it's being sent around for the appropriate signatures. On Medic 1, the cardiac monitor has now been updated and is on board, and the one for Medic 2 has been actually ordered. Big shout out to KFSK for helping the volunteer fire department revamp our radios PSA. This is an ongoing process and we appreciate their support. Reminder to the public, we will be holding a modified Firefighter 1 course and an EMT 1 course in January. Please contact the fire hall at 907-772-3355 to get your name on the list if you're interested. We're working with building maintenance to get some minor remodeling done for office space at the manor. And Derek has been going through the facility, making sure we're all compliant with sprinklers and exit ways as part of our inspection process. Parks and Rec will have limited hours on Friday, November 25th. They will be open 6 to 4 with all regular programming during that time frame. They will be closed on Friday, December 2nd from 9 to 12 for ALICE training. Due to staffing issues, the library will be closed on Mondays until further notice. This time is being used to train staff to take on extra duties and catch up on maintenance activities with local contractors, replacing some lights, installing some frost-proof hose bibs, mechanical systems maintenance, and cleaning and recoating of our slate floors. Tara will be out of the office from November 24th to December 16th. Kari Peterson will be the acting library director. Our winter staff pretty much across the board is winterizing air relief valves and other equipment in the borough. And water department had some success with a local diver cleaning the interior of the 2 million gallon storage tank. The equipment has been developed and the process was tested last week. About 1/5 of the tank was cleaned and the remainder will be addressed soon. Site surveying at Pump Station 4 continues. Currently, the surveyor is providing topos as the most beneficial routing of the force main can be considered, and the project design adjusted as needed. Wastewater staff has been informed by ADEC that the 401 water certification required in conjunction with our EPA 301H discharge permit renewal is moving forward. The state has requested that Petersburg complete some technical forms in order for the certification process to advance. As has been done by many of the other regional utilities who are the subject of the renewal process, Petersburg will seek the assistance of an engineering firm to complete the forms. Biannual industry safety training was held for the power and light line and operations staff on November 14th. Thanks to the fire department for the use of their training room for the event. Load test of the blind slew traveling crane in the powerhouse was performed on November 16th. The crane successfully lifted 31,000 pounds and was certified by the visiting technician. This will offer confidence to the future refurbishment contractor that the crane is ready for use. Thanks to Public Works for the loader and operator needed to move the test blocks into position for the load test. Thanks to the line crew with assist from Public Works and Matt Briner for their Christmas tree and the decorations on it. We'll see what it looks like when they turn it on Friday. We've made offers to some dispatchers, but we have some training curves to deal with. Right now, we've got officers filling dispatch shifts 4 times a week to allow for some days off for folks. And our police officer applicant is in the final stages of the hiring process, projecting a start date in December. This will bring the patrol side of the department to fully staffed. And that's it, unless there's questions.
Okay, thank you, Manager Giesbrecht. Are there any questions of the manager on his report this evening? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to unfinished business, which there is no items. Item 15 on the agenda is new business. First item there is resolution 2022-19. This is a resolution approving a purchase order for the maintenance and repair of Petersburg Municipal Power and Light Caterpillar 398 generator for an amount not to exceed $200,000. If approved, resolution 2022-19 will authorize the issuance of a purchase order with NC Machinery of Juneau, Alaska to procure service and parts for the cleaning, inspection, and rebuild of the Caterpillar 398 for a price not to exceed $200,000. I'd entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
So move. Second.
Motion been made by member Lynn, seconded by member Mucci. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Donna,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, resolution 2022-19 passes unanimously. That brings us to the next item under new business, 2022 SEPA board appointments. Annually, we appoint a voting member and an alternate to the SEPA board. And I think every 3rd year or 4th year it is, we have 2. So this year we only have 1. Without any objection from the assembly, I would like to appoint Assembly Member Lynn as the voting member and Utility Director Hagerman as the alternate. So if there's no objections, we will keep the same people in place. I hear no objections. So. Next item, Alaska Airlines Essential Air Service Letter of Support. Alaska Airlines has proposed to provide essential air service for Cordova, Gustavus, Petersburg, Wrangell, and Yakutat from May 2023 through April of 2025. Attached is a draft letter of support for the Assembly's consideration. So I'd entertain a motion to approve sending this letter.
So move. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Donna,
Yes.
Scott, Tom,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we will send the letter and hopefully we'll still be flying on jets. Communications is the next item. There's communications listed on today's agenda. We don't make a habit of reading them at the meetings. If anybody's interested to see what kind of communications the assembly has received since the last meeting, that is on the agenda. Item 17, assembly discussion items. There are no items listed under that section. So assembly member comments. Any assembly members have any comments this evening? Any recognitions? Can't recognize the help, everybody's help on the tree yet because we haven't seen it. I saw the lights in the middle of the day when they were testing it, but that didn't do much for me, so. If there's no recognitions by staff, which I don't see any hands coming up, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to adjourn.